My name's Kwasiamensah.
My name's James.
My name is Veronique Daphnis.
I'm Mitchgayns.
My name is LaQuisha.
I am Renee.
I'm actually from Lancaster County, Pennsylvania, so I like to tell people I'm Amish.
What does that even mean? Like, what kind of black am I?
What kind of black am I? The half kind, I guess.
My family is Haitian.
Yes. Puerto Rican and Black American.
I am the black kind of black. So
Like, I'm black, you know? Just, I'm black.
In my experience, comparatively better than the experience of black people I've spoken to other places in this country.
I think my personal experience has changed.
Like everything about Boston's success story is inherently white and has been for a long time.
It's way whiter in the sense that the spaces I'm in, being in tech and living in Cambridge, are super white.
being an unambiguously black woman of darker hue, my experience is duality, like having to have one face for home and one face for school, work, all the other places.
Blackness has never really been celebrated as much as it is tolerated here. And so where other places it may not be as tolerated and it's a lot more violent and harassment is a lot more blatant and a lot more evil, maybe on its face, I feel like here it's more of a, we tolerate your being here, but we're only going to allow you to achieve a certain amount of success. It being Boston, that level is still higher than it is a lot of places, and I'm happy to be here and not Kentucky or some shit like that. But there's still a definite weight that is felt by the oppression of the white history here, and in its own right, how old of a city it is.
Boston is a liberal bastion, which would lead you to believe this is a welcome place for black folk, until you go south of the river and see that this is the most segregated metropolitan area in America.
I think when I was younger, my parents probably shielded me away from some of the things that a lot of outsiders tend to see.
On the opposite side of that, I do feel more comfortable living in Boston here than I would feel living south of here. So I am more comfortable living in Boston.
Like, I'd much rather live in Boston than a place like Birmingham or the South. And I'd much rather live in a place like Boston than a place like Charlotte or a place like DC or a place like Atlanta. Well, no, I would love Atlanta.
I would love Atlanta.
I would love
too.
Atlanta.
Definitely, if you're moving here or if you're trying to find an apartment, make sure that you understand the price is probably a lot different from other areas that you are traditionally from. It's pretty expensive here.
Yeah, I've been lucky. I've been living in the same apartment for 9 years between 4 different roommates now. And so I got lucky, but I remember me and my girlfriend moved in and we were trying to do apartment shopping to like find a new place just for us two, and like, no, we can't leave this. We have too good of a deal. It's one of those situations where I've been in an apartment so long, I know that the moment I leave, they're gonna like renovate it and charge $300-400 more a month and whatnot, and then that would be way too expensive.
It's especially difficult kind of starting to get your footing. It's a very network-based economy. A lot of what we do here is kind of who you know, not what you know. And if you're coming from somewhere else and you don't already have a lot of connections here and you don't already have an understanding of how you're going to be making, $50,000 to $80,000 as soon as you get here, then you should probably find a different path.
I wish I knew where the black people were, because I came straight to the North Shore first. I lived there for 2 years, then I moved to Somerville, and I was like, where are we at? Like, this place is just chock full of post-collegiate millennials, and I'm like, that's fine and everything, but where are my people? Like, where are they at? And it took me a while to realize, oh, they stuck them all in Dorchester, in Mattapan, in Roxbury, and I'm just like, the first time I went to those areas was the first time I felt home, you know what I'm saying?
I think Boston is definitely trying. We're trying very hard to have a better social scene for our type of people, in terms of the music we listen to, areas, we want nicer places. It's nothing like New York. It's nothing like DC, those types of areas.
The queer black scene, I find to be very, there's a lot of events and a lot of things that you can go to, but if you're like a cis het person, there's not that much.
You can definitely go into the city and go out clubbing and see your people and listen to good music.
I've gone to, people of color meetups that I didn't know were run by mostly Hispanic crowds, and people have been kind of like, what are you doing here? Similar at black meetups and so on down the line. And so I think that really, much like Boston in general is very siloed, that scene is very siloed, and there's a ceiling to that for everybody. Generally speaking, as far as like the nightlife and everything, like Boston's nightlife just is kind of lame and is what it is.
Yeah, I think I have a very weird sense of the social scene since most of the time I'm spending not at work, I'm doing comedy. And so, I mean, I guess I wish I saw more black people out at shows because they would also get some of my jokes more.
I don't know what that scene is like when you don't have work or when you don't have a regular job or when you don't have school. Because like that seems to be where everybody gets their friends from. I don't know how to be social outside of that. Oh my gosh, I really do not know how to be social outside of that. I've never had that experience.
Diversity.
Like the best mix of a small, it's like a big enough to be a city, but small enough that you can kind of manage to have it all in your head. More like less of like a New York where there's parts of it where you're always going to be finding out about it.
I love having so much culture in one place. Like Boston has a lot in terms of, it has a lot of options for food, which is one of my favorite things. It has a lot of options for shopping. It has a lot of history. And it has a lot in the ways of arts. Like those are all like favorite things of mine. So to see so much of that in one city and further in a city that sleeps and is a little smaller than say in New York City, it's really great.
My favorite part about being from Boston is understanding that like everything still goes through us. It always has. We are the leaders of most things that are important in the world, whether that's politics, whether that's education, whether that's technology.
The culture, the melting pot of West Indian culture.
Quiet as kept, I ain't even trying to like give too much credit to white people for this, but like Sweet Cheeks fried chicken is banging. So like I'll go there for fried chicken occasionally, but I just get a take and go home. But like
Sweet Cheeks.
I love Sweet Cheeks. Sweet Cheeks is delicious.
For real? Okay.